Hello children, welcome back to my channel, and today we are going to learn our first chapter of class 7 science, that is nutrition in plants. This chapter we are going to deal in two parts, so here comes our first part. First of all, before starting this chapter, let me ask you, what are nutrients? You would have already learned nutrients in your class 6, so the question arises, what are nutrients? A substance that provides nourishment essential for the maintenance of life and for growth. जो भी चीजें हम खाते हैं जो हमारे बॉडी के ग्रोथ के लिए और हमारे लाइफ को मेंटेन करने के लिए रिक्वायर्ड होता है या एसेंशियल होता है फूड के कंपोनेंट्स, उसको हम न्यूट्रिएंट्स बोलते हैं. Basically, we have divided nutrients into some basic types. One by one in this class we are going to deal each one of them in detail. So the first one is carbohydrates. पहला है carbohydrates, next is fats, next comes protein, next one is vitamins, and we have minerals. So these are our basic nutrients present in the food. Okay, other than minerals and other than all of these nutrients, we also have fibers, that is called as roughage, and also most important part is water, because most of our minerals or most of these nutrients only get absorbed by the body with the help of water present. Okay, so how we take nutrition? The mode of taking food by the organisms and its utilization by the body. Nutrients तो हमारे पास जो required food quantity है वो है, लेकिन उस food से हम nutrition कैसे लेते हैं? Okay, being animal, being plants, being human beings, how do we take these nutrients is known as nutrition. That means the mode of taking food is known as nutrition. So basically we have two types, autotrophs and heterotrophs. So let us discuss what are each one of them. Auto means self and tropos means nourishment. When we have self nourishment, जब खुद से हमारा nourishment हो रहा है, that is called as autotrophs. That means plants prepare their own food, so they are taking nutrition on their own. Okay, so this is autotrophs. And next one is heterotrophs. Hetero means other and tropos means nourishment. That means when we have to be dependent on some other source for getting our nutrition is called heterotrophs, and all the human beings and animals are heterotrophs. Okay, so let us see this with the help of example. Sun is the main source of energy. These plants, for example, here we have tomato plant. Tomato plant leaves are taking that energy and converting it in the form of food. That means it is converting it in the form of grass, in the form of leaves, in the form of fruit. That is tomato. And that food is taken by animals, so they are called as heterotrophs. Okay, so basically autotrophs are who synthesize their own food, and heterotrophs are we all, animals and human beings, depend on our food on these animals and plants, so they are called as heterotrophs. Okay, and the basic source of energy is sun. Now let us see how the plants make their food, because in this chapter we are going to see about nutrition in plants, so we are going to discuss how these plants make their food. Okay, so the process by which plants make their own food in the presence of sunlight, carbon dioxide present in air, and water, minerals and chlorophyll present in the leaves is termed as photosynthesis. So complete process you can visualize in this. The water is taken by the roots, the carbon dioxide from the air, sunlight from the atmosphere, and the leaves prepare the food. So one by one let us see how each one of them gives their function properly. So our first component will be water and minerals. Now here you can clearly see three pictures are there. In the lower picture you are able to see how the roots are taking water molecules, then through a vessel it transfers it in the leaves, and finally transpiration takes place from the leaves. So they are transported through a vessel. जो एक पतला सा स्टेम दिख रहा है, स्टेम के अंदर पतले पतले फाइबर्स होते हैं जिसमें से हमारा वाटर ट्रांसफर होता है लीव्स तक. Okay, because leaves require to prepare the food. Next one is CO2. यहाँ पे एक छोटा सा स्टोमेटा दिख रहा है हमको, जिसमें से जब वो ओपन होता है तो CO2 हमारा अंदर चला जाता है. It's not like only one stomata is present. There are millions of stomata present in one leaf. Here we are able to only visualize only one stomata. Okay, so this is taken through a tiny pore present in the leaves called stomata, and these pores are surrounded by guard cells. So these cashew shaped guard cells are there. So these guard cells open and close. When they open, the intake of CO2 takes place. When they close, the CO2 is synthesized inside to prepare the food. Okay, next one comes out is sunlight. Sun provides light. This source of energy is used to synthesize food from CO2 and water. Photo means light and synthesis means to combine. So we require light to combine and finally produce our food. So this is how sunlight is taken by the leaves and helps in preparation of food. Next one is our leaf. Leaf plays the major and the most important part of our plant because leaf is the only source from where our food is produced. So this is how what happens. They are called the food factories of the plant. They are also called the kitchen of the plant because kitchen is where we prepare our food in our home. Similarly, leaf is the kitchen of the plant. Therefore, all the raw materials must reach the leaf. क्योंकि लीफ में ही फूड प्रोडक्शन होता है, तो जो भी रॉ मटेरियल्स है, what are the raw materials? Sunlight, carbon dioxide, water, or minerals. All these are the raw materials. So all of these should reach the leaf so that the food preparation can start. Water and minerals are transported through the vessels already seen. Then CO2 is taken through tiny pores present in the leaf called stomata. Leaves have green pigments called chlorophyll, and this chlorophyll only helps to capture the energy of sunlight. So what is most important part of the leaf? It is the chlorophyll because it captures the light of the sun. Okay, so next what happens is during photosynthesis, the chlorophyll containing cells of the leaf in the presence of sunlight uses CO2 and water to synthesize carbohydrates. So what actually happens is the reaction is CO2 reacts with water in the presence of sunlight and also chlorophyll. It combines this reaction and finally gives us carbohydrates and also a byproduct as oxygen. Oxygen is released out when the stomata opens and carbon dioxide is taken. So this is how our carbohydrates is finally produced. Okay, and carbohydrates is only our food. So complete process of photosynthesis can be taken as the process by which plants make their own food in the presence of sunlight, carbon dioxide present in the air, water and minerals, and chlorophyll present in the leaves is termed as photosynthesis. So this is how a complete definition of photosynthesis looks like, and this you have to memorize. Okay, now also we can see there are different leaves which does not have green color. Okay, like most of the leaves are green in color, but there are some leaves which does not have green in color. So is it so that they will not have chlorophyll and they will not produce food? No, it's not like that. Every leaf has chlorophyll in them. Large amount of red, brown and other pigments mask this green color. They have an envelope of a different color, and inside that there is a green color pigment present, and therefore we have chlorophyll present in each and every leaf. Okay. Now, synthesis of plant food other than carbohydrates. We already know in the beginning we have discussed that we have carbohydrates, minerals, proteins, fats, all of these together. But right now we have seen that only carbohydrates is produced during photosynthesis. So how are other than carbohydrates minerals are obtained? Now, carbohydrates are made up of carbon, hydrogen and oxygen. Okay. Now, these are used to synthesize proteins and fats. So when we have these carbohydrates in our body, when we have the carbohydrates, these carbohydrates only helps us to synthesize proteins and fats. Okay, if we don't have carbohydrates, there will be no synthesis of protein and fats at all. So proteins are nitrogenous substance which contains nitrogen in them. अब protein के intake के लिए हमको क्या करना पड़ेगा? To obtain protein from the environment, we have some leguminous plants. Now we'll be discussing about these plants in the next modules. थोड़ा एक short intro बता देती हूँ. जितने भी हमारे पास ये sprouted grains होते हैं, okay, that is दाल and मूंग दाल, चना, उसको खाने के लिए हमको बोला जाता है क्योंकि उसमें ज्यादा नाइट्रोजन कंटेंट होते हैं. क्यों? क्योंकि ये ऐसे प्लांट्स हैं, वो डायरेक्टली अपने रूट्स में, उसके रूट्स में कुछ लेग्यूम्स होते हैं जो लेग्यूम्स डायरेक्टली नाइट्रोजन को अपने आप में फिक्स कर देते हैं, और जब हम इन स्प्राउटेड ग्रेन्स को खाते हैं तो डायरेक्ट इनटेक ऑफ नाइट्रोजन हमारी बॉडी में हो जाता है. ओके, ये ऐसा क्यों है? क्योंकि हम डायरेक्ट नाइट्रोजन को एटमॉस्फेयर से नहीं ले सकते. सो दैट इज व्हाई फर्स्ट नाइट्रोजन हैज टू बी कन्वर्टेड इन सम फॉर्म taken by the plants or by the roots, and then the intake of those food products gives us protein. Okay, So let us recap what we have learned so far in this module. We have discussed about nutrients, we have discussed about mode of nutrition in plants, then at last we have discussed about complete process of photosynthesis. I hope you would have understood this topic. The next part of this chapter will be dealing in the next module. Thank you so much. Keep watching.